Is Bitcoin ready for new all-time highs? Let's take a look at the charts and see what's going on here. So the last time I gave out an update, I think price was around here. I think it was Wednesday. May had just begun. It was either Wednesday or Thursday. We broke down below the range. We swept the lows. So 59,200. That was really the level that I was looking at. It was these lows right here. Notice that we actually set this low from back in March. We were trading in a range within that value area for the most part. We teased breaking below it in mid-April, but we never actually did. Right? The way ranges work is we tend to sweep out one direction before going in the other. And given that the trend has been bullish, it's very normal for when there's a sideways range for the downside to be swept before we actually push to the upside. This is where, everybody gets bearish, they look to short, and they get caught holding a bad short. Or spot holders panic sell for the most part, thinking that, hey, the uptrend is over, or they'll get to buy lower. Now, I'm not saying that price wouldn't have gone lower or couldn't go lower. It absolutely could, right? But it's important to take context to factor it into the equation. So let's see. On the daily, we had a high, then we had a lower low, and then a lower high, and then a lower low. So technically, it's a bearish structure, right? But when you think about the context, which is that, hey, we're in a sideways range, we're rotating down, probably going to sweep the lows, right? On top of that, when you zoom out to the higher time frame, there's actually no confirmation that we've shifted bearish. This is still sideways movement, a lot of choppy work on the weekly time frame. You see the wicks to the downside. So there's no real displacement lower. There's no real rejection, no powerful move lower. So there's no reason for me to believe that we had topped out, right? Which was why when we swept the lows and I gave out the update, the first and main scenario that I had laid out was that I'm going to be watching for a reclaim. I want to see price get back up, reclaim that range, and potentially make it back above this valley area low to see then if we can rotate back to range highs and eventually make new all-time highs. So I actually took a trade with that I called out in the Telegram group. I think it was this one over here. It was something like this. 59. Yeah, I think it was something along the lines of this. I don't remember my exact stop loss and take profit, but my entry was around 57.6, 57.7. We retested the range lows. We got rejected, but there was no follow through. Right? We continued to just chop around below the range. Now, when you break down below a range, break up above a range, and there's no follow through, that's usually a telltale sign that, hey, this might be a fake out. We might just go back within the range. And so that's why I had taken the long. Now, I was actually a little conservative because I just wanted to take my profits at the range lows. The reason why is that I'm already in my spot holds. As price was moving lower and lower and lower, I wasn't selling. I was actually DCAing. And for those, there were a bunch of people who'd actually asked me, are you panic selling? Are you getting out as a top in? Are we reversing? And my answer was no, I'm not. I wasn't rushing into any longs, but I wasn't selling. I didn't believe this was the top. I'm still bullish overall on crypto and on Bitcoin. I don't believe the bull run's over by any means. So I took a bit of a conservative long here. We retested this level. I got in on that long, and shortly after we ended up hitting that 59,200 level. Now from there, this was happening, and it was getting into the weekend, which is why I actually did not take the trade. But you notice how price gets up, closes above the range, and now we're actually flipping that range back into support, which is one of my favorite setups, right? You lose a range level, either a low or a high, you reclaim it, you retest it, and then bang, you get it pushed right back up. We saw this all the way up to 62, 63K. right? Now on the daily time frame, what happened was we ended up closing above the Valley area low at 62.5. Up until the dump, I think the Valley area low was at 63. It shifts, right? Because as more candles come in, as there's more data, the Valley area obviously is going to move along with it up and down slowly. And yeah, so you've got to constantly update your levels. So in this case, after we got here, we closed above that Valley area low. And notice we got a beautiful retest of it on Saturday. So I'm just going to mark this level. Right, we'll go back down to the 1 hour. I think that was the retest over there. Obviously, we fell just short of it, but for the most part, that was your retest. And since then, we've pushed up to 65 today. I did not take that long. Again, same reason as this. It was all happening during the weekend. I'm not a fan of weekend moves. I like to take, Saturday away. I'll take some time off the charts. So yeah. Now the key thing though is that I want to see this level hold. I wouldn't be surprised if price came back down to retest it. 62 is very, very likely. 62.5. We might just come back down, take out these lows, take out that swing low as well. The weekend, basically the weekend lows, right? And then these were the Sunday lows. So I wouldn't be surprised if price went back down, swept those lows, retested the Valley area low, and then pushed back up. Regardless, I am in a long for now. We actually got rejected at this fair value gap over here. That's where the rejection today came from. But yeah, this is the level to hold for me, 62.5. I got in a long earlier today. We've also got this breaker right here that I definitely want to see hold. So yeah, ideally we hold this level. I'm in my longs. We push up. Point of control is going to be the first target at 67. And then we'll see how we react to this fair value gap over here sitting at the 68 level, right? These are just a couple of levels that I'll be watching. And then finally range highs, 70,000. Well, that's actually the value area high, but then range highs up here at almost 72,000. Right? So let's see what we get. I've got no reason to be bearish at the moment. The structure doesn't really bother me so much until we break back down and we're unable to get back up above the valley area low. Then I start getting a little worried because we have no reason to go back down given that we've already swept the lows, right? So I want to see a continued push higher as a show of strength. Yeah, so let's see what we get.